Hello viewers, I am your host Shivangi Mishra with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. Recently, the 54th World Economic Forum was held in Davos, Switzerland. Global leaders, industry experts and visionaries gathered to discuss some of the most pressing challenges facing the world. The theme of this year's summit was rebuilding trust. Take a look. Global investors, business leaders and government representatives from across the world descended in Davos, Switzerland to attend the 54th World Economic Forum held this week. The summit addressed many challenges faced across the globe, including issues where India has been active on the global stage like trade, climate change and economic growth. The annual meeting of the World Economic Forum provided space to focus on the fundamental principles driving trust, including transparency, consistency, and accountability. During a panel discussion, the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken mentioned that the India-US conversation always underscores the significance of democracy and human rights, and the relationship between the two countries has reached a new height. He also praised Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership.
We see an extraordinary success story, and we see the remarkable achievements that Prime Minister Modi has achieved, moved forward under his watch that have materially benefited and materially positively affected so many Indian lives. We also see a relationship between our countries that is in a new place, at a new level. And that's been, I think, the very deliberate effort of both Prime Minister and President Biden, who believes in this deeply. At the same time, a constant, regular part of our conversation is the conversation about democracy, about rights.
In the latest Global Competitiveness Report, India has slipped to the 40th position. The report reveals that India's score has improved across most pillars of competitiveness. India's economic activity has sustained its strong momentum with both urban and rural demand supporting growth. The strong thrust by the government on capital expenditure, coupled with signs of a pickup in private investment and healthy aggregate demand conditions that are expected to lift a real GDP growth. According to the National Statistics Office's initial advance estimates, India's economy is expected to grow by 7.3% in the current fiscal year 2023-2024.
Focus is on that and why it was not happening.
This makes it the major economy with the fastest rate of growth. The Governor of the Reserve Bank of India, Shaktikant Das, noted during the summit that there is an all-time high confidence in India world over.
I said that current year, that is for the current financial year, RBI's growth projection was 7%. The NSO, National Statistics Office, has said 7.3%. So in fact, when we said 7% for current year, there were a lot of opinion, a lot of views outside that RBI was over-projecting. But in actuality, the National Statistics Office, which has a lot more data, has said 7.3% for current year. And for next year, that is the financial year 24-25, what I mentioned is that my sense is that India's GDP growth will touch 7%.
Meanwhile, India has pledged to achieve 500 gigawatts of non-fossil electricity capacity, generate half of all energy requirements from renewables, and reduce emissions by 1 billion tons by 2030 as part of an ambitious 5-part Panchamrit pledge at COP26 in 2021. The country also aims to reduce the intensity of emissions in its GDP by 45%. Finally, India commits to net zero emissions by 2070. On the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said that he is optimistic about the green hydrogen.
When you saw the session, how much energy there is and how much interest there is in green hydrogen. And green hydrogen is the fuel of the future. And I think the world over, the focus is on green hydrogen as the fuel of the future. And I think what is also coming out that India has some inherent advantages because you have a large consuming population, there will be a large demand for energy. And as we transition to greener energy, I think green hydrogen will arrive on our scene sooner than later.
The World Economic Forum is an international non-governmental organization for public-private sector collaboration based in Switzerland. The 54th annual meeting welcomed over 100 governments, all major international organizations, 1,000 forum partners, as well as civil society leaders, experts, youth representatives, and social entrepreneurs.